welcome back to Screening Out. This is the pre-Oscars picks. These are essentially going to be our predictions for the Oscars. Happy Oscars, everybody. It is coming up. So basically what this episode is going to be is right now we're filming before the Oscars have happened. Basically, we're going to go through our predictions. And then the last bit of this episode will be post-Oscars, us kind of going through what we thought of the night. Did Will Smith slap Chris Rock again? Lots of unanswered questions.
I was literally going to say that.
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
But we'll just jump right into this. Do we want to go through our entire list or just some of our most contentious?
I say let's go through the entire list. Maybe let's save Best Picture for last. Let's go bottom up.
Okay, we'll start from the bottom here.
This might be a little confusing. It might not make sense, but we're gonna work with it.
Okay, so starting, we have our Best International Feature. We believe that this will be Secret Agent.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the most awarded films of 2025, and it just seems to keep going. Did you want to go over? Are we gonna do snubs?
Yeah, let's talk about snubs a little bit because I think that might be a little more interesting for our listeners. Secret Agent is incredible. It is going to win Best International Feature. If not, it'll probably be Sentimental Value. You can also check out our episode where we talk about that. But I am still baffled by the exclusion of No Other Choice in this category. This was one of the best movies of the year. I can't get over it.
It was a fantastic movie. I'm also surprised. Hopefully we will get to see some love for it. Maybe some of the presenters will feel the way we do and mention it.
I would love Park Chan-wook to finally get some recognition, but
he needs it.
Okay, Best Original Song. I think we know what this is going to be. It's Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters.
We're all made to be golden.
Okay. And you want to talk about the snub a little bit?
So one thing I'm kind of surprised we didn't see on there was the song from A$AP Rocky, his track Trunks from Highest to Lowest. That one, it low-key just bangs.
It's so catchy.
It's so catchy. I'm surprised we didn't see it at all. Highest to Lowest was somewhat underrepresented in these Oscars, and that is one place that
criminally robbed, I'd say.
I would agree.
Oh my God, this table is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's go into Best Original Score.
So what we have predicting to win is One Battle After Another. Johnny Greenwood just really hit it out of the park there. There's so much tension within that soundtrack that it just kind of like gets under your skin and like really has you just on the edge of your seat. And that's just something like when you can notice that in a score, it's pretty much got it locked.
Yeah, and we talked about this briefly in our One Battle episode, but the score in this is great. And Johnny Greenwood, a longtime PTA collaborator, is just fantastic. And I think this is probably going to be his win, you know? Like, I think he just kills it in this movie, and it fits the movie perfectly.
I would agree. Best visual effects.
Avatar. It's going to be Avatar. Even though some of those 120 FPS shots look weird. I don't know if you've actually seen Avatar, the new one, but they're a little iffy, but it's a visually incredible movie. I would sit here and lie to you if I said Avatar was not going to win this.
Yeah, the snub on this one, just kind of a movie that I don't think could beat Avatar, but The Legend of Ochi, they just made a Pokemon, and that was awesome. It just was kind of surprising that the use of puppets and then CGI on top of that really didn't get them anything.
Yeah, it had a great blend of that, practical and like CGI.
Yeah, it felt like a modern E.T. almost.
Yeah,
but a little.
That's a good analogy. It's not as good as E.T. Let's not say that, but in a sense, yeah.
Best sound is gonna be F1.
Sorry.
You're killing it. That's what it sounded like. But yeah, we didn't really have a snub for this one. F1 just that's the thing it did well.
The one thing it did well.
The one thing.
For best makeup and hairstyling, excuse me. We had Frankenstein. I think this makes sense out of the nominees. It's the one that relies heavily on the makeup and prosthetics. I would say Smashing Machine a little bit, but they kind of just gave him a wig and a nose. But I thought the practical effects in this movie were great.
Yes, and for our snub, do you mind if I just read this directly?
Yeah, go for it.
Go into incognito mode right now and look up Samson 28 Later's prosthetic, and you'll see all 9 inches of why this zombie flick should have been nominated.
Enough said, I think.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Best Editing. For that, we gave it to Sinners. The editing style and pacing is just very good. It definitely deserves some wins. And Best Editing is one of those places where we feel like it really outshined.
Yeah, I think it really does a good job with balancing its tone and the pacing of this movie. You already mentioned that. A snub we have for this category, is the remake of The Naked Gun. It's like nearly impossible to make a movie 77 minutes, including credits, and be so funny, especially when it relies so heavily on improvisation. It was a great movie. It probably was never going to be nominated, but I think it should have.
I agree. I think that movie, it just felt so much like the originals, and came out, 30 years later.
Yeah.
So just got to give it its props. Next up, we have Best Cinematography. Train Dreams, man, it's just so beautiful. Yeah. It just seems like the best answer for Best Cinematography. That movie just is shot beautifully.
It's not my favorite movie of the year, and if this was in any other year for Best Cinematography, I probably wouldn't pick it, but I think it just looks beautiful. It's a beautiful looking movie, so give it credit where it's due. And then our snub for this was The Mastermind. This was a great movie, and I think it deserved a little more credit than it was actually given. Is there really impressive camera work in this movie? No, but does it look amazing? Yes.
That's fair, entirely fair. For costume design, we just felt that Hamnet really embodied the time period in which it was set. So just props on fantastic costume design there.
Yeah, especially that old English kind of fashion, Victorian fashion. It looked great in this movie. I would have liked to see Mickey 17 get a nomination. This movie, Criminally Robbed. I don't understand what everyone was doing when they had a Bong Joon-ho movie on their hands and Warner Brothers fumbled the marketing and the Academy seems to hate. I don't know. I'm really upset about this movie not getting the love it deserves.
I agree. It was very poignant in the year it came out. It was impressive to see how they shot it beforehand and how it just aligned so well with what was happening.
I think 2 years beforehand.
Yeah.
Before it actually came out.
Impressive. For production design, we have Sinners. It had this opportunity to kind of put fantastical elements into a very real time period, like the 1930s. And it just, if you told me that there were vampires in 1930s, I'd believe you. If you showed me Sinners as proof.
Yeah, I think it balances the Deep South setting so well, but I would have liked to see Eddington get a nomination. It's a little unlikely, and it may seem strange to give it to a movie that's set in 2020, but man, does it capture that setting so well. It's just perfect, I think.
That movie made me feel like I was on my daily walk. If you know, you know. Do you want to lead for Best Animated Feature?
Yeah,
Our prediction?
So, Best Animated Feature, it's K-Pop Demon Hunters. I don't really need to get more into this. I think you understand why it's going to win. It's the most watched Netflix movie ever. It's K-Pop Demon Hunters.
Shout out the Snakes. Shout out Ki Hee Kwan. Zootopia 2, We Do See You. You just can't beat K-Pop Demon Hunters. We were kind of surprised to not see Predator Killer of Killers. As intense as that movie is, it just felt like, maybe we could take a big step here. But I do understand. I would have at least liked to see it as a nominee. I don't think it would have beaten K-Pop Demon Hunters, but a boy can dream.
Yeah. For adapted screenplay, we have Hamnet. I think Hamnet's screenplay. Being adapted from book is always kind of difficult because it's hard to capture those moments. But having the author be a co-writer on this script, I think, really helped. Take this book into the real world, I guess.
Yeah, and then a movie once again that we were shocked to see wasn't on there. We have it listed as Unjustly Robbed. I believe that to be true. Highest to lowest. It encapsulates, high and low, but then takes it a step further. And maybe the world just wasn't ready for that remake, but its time will come.
Yeah. Is it as good as High and Low? Definitely not. But guys, Spike Lee only has one or two Oscars, I think, when I was doing the research for this article. That is ridiculous. It's Spike Lee. It's Spike fucking Lee, and he only has one or two Oscars. I think one of them was a student Oscar. What are we doing? This world's so messed up.
Was that our one?
That was our one. I'm going to have to censor that, but...
No. Me too. I feel the same.
You front best original screenplay here.
Yeah. So I think I did read the screenplays. The one that stuck out to me was Blue Moon. I just felt it had a very strong screenplay. It felt like it felt easy to visualize what was happening. And I feel like especially in getting a movie adapted, that's very important. Just kind of like basically making it as easy as possible to turn it from a script to the screen.
Yeah.
It's just a strong narrative.
It really does a good job of bringing that color to the black and white, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to take Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah. We talked about it a bunch in our One Battle episode, but it's Tiana Taylor. She's a great supporting actress in this movie, and anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Anyone who says Paul Thomas Anderson can't write a woman is wrong. Perfidia Beverly Hills is incredible. She's an incredible character in this movie, and Tiana Taylor gives an incredible supporting performance. One of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, it just the way in which she's able to encapsulate a movement and, kind of have these, factors stacked against her. It's just very, at the end of the day, it just takes a level of genius to become such a lovable character and then also still have like such a great departure from the film.
Exactly. And then our snub is another One Battle actress, Chase Infinity. I think this is her debut feature role. Oh my God. I don't think she should have been nominated because I think this category's stacked. The actress categories are always a bloodbath. Chase Infinity probably was never going to get nominated. Did she probably deserve to get nominated? Probably not. But I'm glad this put her on the radar for everyone.
Yeah, we kind of use this snub pick as more of a it's more of like a watch, I guess. Chase Infinity will win an Oscar. Hopefully within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But
I'd lock it in.
Yeah, I'm sticking around until she does, and I will be shouting her name from the rooftops until she does. Going into our Best Supporting Actor, another One Battle pick. We've got Colonel Lockjaw. Just being able to be so cartoonishly evil without I guess sacrificing the performance is just so interesting. It feels not nice, but it feels very intense, and that feels exciting to see Sean Penn just absolutely dominate on the screen.
Yeah. And then for our snub, we have William H. Macy for Train Dreams. I don't like Train Dreams. Let's make it clear. I don't like Train Dreams, but William H. Macy in this movie is incredible. He's so good in this movie, and he's exactly what we talk about with embodying a supporting role with Tiana Taylor. He does it in this movie.
I'm going to be honest, William H. Macy I like Train Dreams. I really wish he would have gotten a nomination here. He's been on a tear. I feel like he shows up, does his job, does a fantastic job at it, and then just moves on. And it's just so amazing to see him in this film. I loved the character of Arn. He just really was able to put forth such a strong performance with the little time allotted.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. For Best Actress, we have Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. Again, Best Actress is a category that's going to be impossible to predict. I think it could go any way, and I don't think anyone's going to... Well, people are going to be mad. I won't be too upset. I think everyone in this category is fantastic, but Jessie Buckley's head and shoulders above the rest.
I am just going to simply agree for sake of time. With Best Actor, we have Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme. It was just such a strong film, and I feel that Marty Mauser as a character embodies so much more in kind of like the opposite way that you would expect him to, and I think that's really kind of poignant for, this greatness that he's trying to pursue and how that kind of echoes what we're dealing with in the modern day.
Absolutely. And I think Timmy is just great. I think he's just so out there with this role. I do want him to stop shooting himself in the foot with this campaign, bro. Shut up about opera and ballet. Everyone knows those are boring. You don't need to say it out loud. No one. Why is everyone acting like they care about opera and ballet? Anywho, I won't be surprised if Michael B. Jordan actually takes this on Oscar night just because of how things have been going. But I'm praying to the cinema gods that it's Timothée Chalamet.
I would like to say I'm perfectly fine with Michael B. Jordan winning this. I kind of feel like as we've gotten closer to the Oscars, like there's just so many good candidates in most of these. I feel like every time F1 shows up, I'm a little, unless it's Best Sound. But, just kind of like reflecting. I'm just happy to be here, man.
Yeah. What do we got next? We got Best Director. We've said the name of the movie how many times now?
One after another, every single time. It's One Battle After Another. Say the director. Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another.
Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson's due. He should have won it probably 5 movies ago, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm glad it's this movie, though. This is a fantastic movie.
Once again, Park Chan-wook was such a strong force in No Other Choice. Just really setting up such an interesting story, drawing the potential out of the film and just, taking it to that next level as he does. It's criminal that he's not here.
Yeah, I don't get I don't get why the Academy hates him, but it's someday their time will come. And then our final category, we got Best Picture. Drum roll. You got it.
It's One Battle After Another. The acting is fantastic. There's the tonal shifts between comedy and drama. Just every single aspect of this movie makes you forget that it's 3 hours long. It was so good.
Yeah. If you want to hear our full thoughts on this movie, go watch our episode, but this movie's incredible. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now.
And once again, to nobody's surprise, do you want to take the snub?
Yeah, our snub is No Other Choice. This movie is, I don't want to say it's generational, but it's one of Park Chan-wook's best that I've seen, and I think it's probably one of the best of the 2020s so far. I can't believe it's criminally snubbed. It baffles me. It completely baffles me how the Academy can get this wrong so many times. There's 3 different categories that Park Chan-wook should have been at least given they should have thrown him a bone, and they didn't. They didn't give him anything. Whatever. Hopefully you'll get an honorary Oscar eventually, but that doesn't really mean anything.
We would also take a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
That would be fine as well. But yeah, that was our predictions going into the Oscars. Next time you'll see us, we'll be clothed differently, hopefully. And we will have watched the Oscars and be sharing our thoughts.
Computer, transition to other moment in the episode. Computer, fade to white, fade to black, fade to gray, fade in. Welcome back.
We are so back. Post-Oscars.
We're about, 2 weeks removed or 1 week removed?
I think we just hit 1 week as of 2 days ago. Not to date this podcast too hard.
Yeah. So sorry we're a little behind. I'm not that sorry.
We broke spring hella. Can we say that?
Yeah, I think we can. Do we want to talk about some of our main takeaways?
Yeah, I would love to start. Amy Madigan, when I catch you, Amy Madigan, oh, you were good in weapons. But Tiana Taylor needed it more.
Yeah.
I think she earned it.
I liked weapons. I really did, but man, did Tiana Taylor give a way better performance than Amy Madigan did. Not to say that Amy Madigan's bad. Amy Madigan was good in that movie. But, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of got robbed.
Yeah. Ultimately, peace and love to Amy Madigan. I'm not going to catch you. I don't want to catch you, actually. But, yeah, no, I just really felt like Tiana Taylor kind of put in a star-studded performance, and I believed that she deserved to be compensated for that with a shiny golden award.
For sure. And I saw some people okay, we should also mention that the discourse about the Oscars has been horrendous. It's been disgusting. But
Yes.
some of the things I've seen about Amy Madigan is that people are saying this is like a legacy win for her. Does she deserve a legacy? Not too much on Amy Madigan, but what has she really done? Sorry.
Yeah. No, I just feel like with Tiana Taylor, she just was such a driving. I mean, we don't have to rehash this. We're not going to do that. We're just going to talk about the Oscars. But yeah, I agree. I think Amy Madigan, while she is a good actor, it just was not it was not what I was expecting. I would have probably had her closer to the bottom of the list for who deserved Best Supporting Actress.
Yeah, definitely. I'd agree. I'm trying to think of who the other ones were. Now that we're removed, I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
Who was it?
It's a fantastic question.
I know in the article I said any of them could win and I wouldn't be too upset. Now I can't remember.
Yeah. All I can remember is that it was stacked.
Yeah. Whatever. In like some news, for the 7th time in Oscars history, there was a tie. This was the live action short film category, I believe, or
I think it was animated.
Animated
short film.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was interesting. I also liked that Kumail Nanjiani was like, I'm not kidding. Like, you could tell that, since he's somewhat of a comedian, he was a little worried that everybody was going to think he was just like trying to take the spotlight. And, it was honestly kind of admirable for him to be like, shoot.
Yeah, there we go. So that was kind of cool. Should we talk about maybe the just presenting in general? I feel like this is the second year in a row we've had a host since the years there was Jimmy Fallon, and then there was the gap where there wasn't a host.
Yeah.
Conan did a great job again.
Conan, I really hope that it's not Mr. Beast as Oscars host for life, and it actually stays Conan, even though they did gas him. Spoilers for the post-credit scene of the Oscars. But yeah,
Yeah, I just thought there was great bits. There was great gags. There was a good energy to the show. There's also a little bit of controversy with the In Memoriam segment. Some people are disappointed with some of the snubs. Do you have any thoughts on that particularly?
I'm gonna be honest. I was just really moved by the Rob Reiner and Catherine O'Hara In Memoriam sections.
With Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal, you could tell that he was really passionate about it, and bringing out the cast from some of his other films, Harry Met Sally reunion on the Oscars stage. I'm gonna be honest, I almost cried.
Yeah, that was great. It was just a sad year. I kind of wish I didn't bring it up, but and also the Catherine O'Hara stuff.
That one was also beautiful. And for those at home who might not have seen it, seeing Seth Rogen accept the award that Catherine O'Hara was supposed to win for the studio, that was such like a powerful speech. He just kind of was able to go on stage and talk about not only her as a person, but I don't know. I think he did a good job at mixing what she's done for the art form and also who she is. Mm-hmm. But yeah, especially after seeing that and then the In Memoriam section at the Oscars, it was heart-wrenching almost.
Yeah. Maybe to move on to maybe of a less sad note, there's only one Oscar win that I would say upset about. And I don't know if you share the sentiment with me, but Timothée Chalamet got egregiously robbed at the Oscars.
I think he deserved some sort of win. I mean, I would like to preface by saying you just can't be mad at a Michael B. Jordan win.
I'm not upset with that.
Yeah.
I'm not too upset with that, even though I would have put him probably lower down on the ranking for them. But I'll get into that in a second. We'll just keep talking about Timothée Chalamet here.
Yeah.
He just gave such a great performance, and he didn't lose because of his whole ballet comments. That's a total, like, not a fabrication or a lie. It's just wrong. People are just wrong. So I don't get what the Academy really has against Timothée Chalamet in general. I don't think he should have won for A Complete Unknown, but Call Me by Your Name was fantastic. And then this film was just he's just leveling up every single movie he's doing. I continue to be baffled by his, how he continues to get snubbed, I guess.
Yeah, he truly is the bad boy of cinema, I feel, is what we're witnessing. And I think his time will eventually come. Honestly, a lot of people are equating him to Leo in these conversations, not really getting anything until maybe it's become a joke, and then you just kind of throw him one a couple years later. And I kind of hope that that's not what happens for Timothée Chalamet. I hope that, he does have continues to have really good performances in the movie that gets nominated of his is something that we can be yes, of course he earned that. Yeah. Not that The Revenant was a bad movie. It just when you think of Leo's career, The Revenant kind of only comes up because he won the Oscar for it.
Yeah, that's his Oscar win. I think Timothée Chalamet hasn't been in a bad movie yet besides Don't Look Up. So it's bound to happen. It's going to happen soon. Hopefully it's Dune 3. If things go right, Dune 3 will sweep the Oscars. I'm praying to God they're just giving it the Lord of the Rings treatment, and they're waiting to the last one in the trilogy to give it the awards. But
yeah,
I think have to hold out hope.
Yeah, I think Dune 3 will probably get some nominations. I guess it's not out yet, so we won't know for sure, but you will probably hear our thoughts once it's out.
Oh, for sure. Dune's Day. Yeah, we're going to do the Dune's Day double feature, except we're going to watch Dune twice and then look up the Avengers synopsis on the way home.
Yeah, no, actually, we'll do it live. We'll just read it and be like, oh, that was probably a decent movie.
Yeah. Let's also talk. Okay, no. One more thing about Best Actor. People saying Michael B. Jordan should have won because he played dual roles. Robert De Niro played dual roles last year in The Alto Nights. Wagner Moura.
You can't even finish that sentence.
Wagner Moura played 3 roles in The Secret Agent, and he was nominated. So that's not a good argument. I don't think Michael B. Jordan gave a bad performance by any means. I don't think it's an Oscar-winning performance.
Mm-hmm. I think that with that performance, there's just a lot of small details that I don't know, on a rewatch, I could kind of tell, I feel like you kind of get a characterization for both of them, in ways that they're very similar, which I think is kind of what makes it hard to be he did double duty because they're twins. So they've experienced a lot of the same things. They have the same trauma, but there are slight differences between the two that I think is what a lot of people are honing in on. But yeah, that's just kind of my 2 cents.
I think we should talk about PTA finally getting what he was owed a while back. I believe 3 Oscar wins for the night.
Yeah.
So you got director, screenplay, and Best Picture. Deserved. Absolutely deserved.
I'm happy with the PTA win here. I feel like, the two camps were white, the white movie with Timothée Chalamet or the black directed movie, and they just kind of split the middle and picked a white directed movie about African American issues. But anyway, I think Ryan Coogler has a lot of potential, and I really hope to see him get more wins in the future. I think Sinners was a great movie.
Yeah.
I just think when it was up against everything else, I guess I'm not super surprised at the loss.
Yeah. I don't want to see Ryan Coogler back in the big studio machine. I don't want to see him doing another Marvel movie, even though he's probably going to do Black Panther 3, which if it has Denzel Washington, it's probably going to be good. I guess I'm just happy PTA won. He should have won for There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights, Punch Drunk Love. I mean, I could keep going. So it's good. It feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It was long deserved. I'm glad he finally made it. Shout out Maya Rudolph. You know, PTA's wife. Wait, no, sorry, Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
PTA is Maya Rudolph's husband. Shout out Veep.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up. Do we want to give insight into what is our next episode?
So I think what's probably going to happen is you can expect to see us in April, whether it's the second week or the third week. We will kind of feel it out. We do have our next episode planned, or we have an episode planned. If we come out with one before that, it's just because we had a good idea. I'm not going to spoil. Should we spoil what it is?
No, let's not.
Let's not spoil what it is, but just be ready around mid-April. We've got something cooking up, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
we'll be celebrating a very special holiday.
Yeah.
That being said, I gave away too much. That being said, thank you guys for listening to the 6th episode of Screening Out. Yeah, that's all I got.
We're not going anywhere.